Welcome back to A Hill with a View. I'm so excited for today's episode. But first, before we get into it, we got to remind everyone to like, subscribe, and share on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all A Hill with a View podcast. We got follow me on x.com, A Hill with a View. Hill with View, Instagram Hill with View, TikTok Hill with View. If you want to join the show at some point in the future, like my guest right here, which we're going to introduce him in a second, email me at ahillwithaview@gmail.com. But right now, we're going to talk about a very important topic, something that's been on my mind for several weeks now, and that is Nick Fuentes and his appeal with the younger audience. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on my guest, Moshe Lax. Moshe, welcome to A Hill with a View.
Thank you very much for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you. So I reached out. I put the call out to basically an age group that I have very little affiliation with, which is the college, older high school, younger college age group, which I do not have much experience with. I'm pushing 40. I'm a millennial, older millennial. And Moshe was kind enough to reply after I put the call out. And we're just going to get started on this. So the question of the day is, what is the appeal of Nick Fuentes to a young, frum Jewish male who is pro-Israel, voted for President Trump, stuff like that? So we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. This is going to be a good conversation. We're not looking to change minds. We're not looking to attack anyone. We're not looking to, accuse or defame. Nothing like that. We're having a conversation. We want to know what's going on, what the mindset is. So first, Moshe, tell me a little bit about yourself.
I was born and raised in Miami Beach, Florida. I went to Jewish school, modern Orthodox Jewish school in Miami Beach. Now I went to yeshiva for 2 years, and now I'm in Yeshiva University.
Which yeshiva did you go to for 2 years?
Torah Shraga.
Torah Shraga in Israel.
Yes.
Okay. So you spent 2 years in Israel. Would you be called Israel first?
Yeah. I would definitely consider myself Israel first.
No. Well, anyone who talks about Israel or anyone Jewish at this point, after what happened with the Ben Shapiro thing this past week, I don't know if you saw that, but at TPUSA, at Heritage, they're all accusing of being Israel first. Now, I'm a big Ben Shapiro guy, personally. That is my idol. Harav Hagaon Ben Shapiro is what I've called him for many years. And so maybe that's a generational divide over there, you know? I believe I'm a different generation than you, or at the very least, we're pretty far apart. How old are you again?
20.
You're 20. So I'm 39, pushing 40 in March. You're 20, so we got a full generation between us. All right? So it's going to be interesting. So you grew up from birth, FFB.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And do you guys still say that, FFB?
Some, yeah.
Okay.
Miami, it wasn't as big, but I know a lot of friends from New York, and they still all say from.
Okay, all right. Modoc's guy.
Modoc's still.
Modoc's yeshivish, you know. Okay, and you spent 2 years in Israel. And how did you get into politics? How did you get into? Was this something you've been doing for a while? Is this something that happened a little later in high school, earlier high school?
Mostly started around, I think like most Jews, around October 7th.
Okay.
I think being in Israel during October 7th really more or less red pilled me onto the Israel side of things.
Mm-hmm.
And then being around certain rabbis in yeshiva and in Israel really pushed an Israel first bias onto me.
Okay. All right. So you were in Israel October 7th.
Yes.
And you were in yeshiva. So you were what? It was 3 weeks into yeshiva at that point.
Yeah.
Maybe a month. And did a lot of people go home after that? Did people stick around? What was the vibe at that point?
It was a very hit or miss.
Mm-hmm.
Where the day after either around a quarter of the yeshiva, a quarter to half of the yeshiva all left.
Really?
Yeah, all of my roommates left.
Wow.
So it was a great time. I had a room to myself.
Yeah. I mean, you got to find the silver lining, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I knew 2 other yeshivas that 90% of the kids all left.
Wow. Yeah, tough time. I mean, imagine being a parent, and saying hey, this just happened. We got to get the kids out of there. Did anyone come back in the middle of the year? Come back later?
Yeah. Mostly everybody except for 2 guys all came back.
All came back after, 5, 6 months?
5, 6 months more. A lot came back in January time.
Did that also propel you to go Shana Bet, or because like, oh, I kind of missed my Shana Aleph, so I'm going to go another year? Or did you already you were already thinking that you were going to go for a second year?
No, at that point, I wasn't really thinking Sean a bet. It was
Uh-huh.
more of later on into the year that I really considered going back Sean a bet.
Yeah, yeah. All right, and then you went from Israel, you got into, YU, where you're now, where you're in second year of YU?
Second year.
Second year of YU. Okay. And how's that going?
It's
You're
going great.
and so now let's get into the topic. So, I put out the call saying, you know, I'm curious. I'm hearing from I heard from a friend of mine who helped me. So I actually ran a political campaign. I don't know if you know much about me. I ran a political campaign this past November. Didn't go my way, but I had this guy who is in Rashit right now who helped me out with my campaign, getting people registered to vote, getting them ballots in Israel. And so I texted him out of the blue, basically, and said, I'm curious, are people watching Nick Fuentes who, because I know he appeals to young men, who is watching? Is anyone in your age group, your peer group, watching or listening to him? And he said, yeah, a lot of people do. So I reached out to other people I know. I have a cousin who's like, yep, people in my share do. So just in your perspective, what percentage would you say of your YU peers listen to Nick Fuentes on a regular basis?
I wouldn't say very high.
Okay.
And like a lot of the guys am friends with or like I asked around, most of them don't watch him.
Okay.
A lot of like the things they would see of him are from the clips on either X or Instagram or TikTok.
Yep.
Like,
That's my only affiliation with him.
My best friend in Miami, he also like watches him from time to time.
So I honestly, I'm gonna tell you, I don't know much about what he puts out there. I see the clips, I see the compilation videos. I watched a bunch of them, this week just to, get a little more familiar. But he puts out what, like one episode a week, or does he put out every single day? How often does he have episodes?
Yeah, usually like 2, 3 times a week.
And they're around an hour each, 45 minutes an hour.
Some are around an hour each. Some are, let's say, maybe like once a week he'll have a 3-hour video.
Okay, so and so you're listening every single week, every episode.
Not every episode, but like the free time I put on the hour episode just to see what's happening.
All right, so let's get into it. So, what was the first time you came across Nick Fuentes or his content? When did this come across?
Probably a few years ago, just like watching from like Instagram, seeing like one of the viral clips of him, and you're like, okay, this man is saying whatever the heck he wants.
Yep.
A little bit interested.
So what interested you about him?
I think it was just his ability to say whatever he wanted and have he didn't really care about it.
So there's no, so it seems like the antithesis of political correctness.
Yeah.
So, we're living in a very politically correct world where the Overton window is basically shut so closed that you can't even say that boys are boys and girls are girls. And that if a man plays in a woman's sport but says he's a woman, that is totally okay. Is that the kind of thing that you're like, he calls out against that?
Yeah, calls out against that. It was like a bit of like the conspiracy theory side. So like you do find a little bit of like entertainment. Like you go into the episode thinking like, okay, what's today's conspiracy theory? What's like the random thing he's gonna call people out on?
Okay. All right. And I know that he actually calls out Candace Owens for her conspiracy theories from time to time. So is Candace Owens someone you listen to as well? Tucker Carlson, those
back in like the good old days.
The good old days. Yeah, I agree.
They weren't completely off the rails.
Yeah. There was a point. Listen, I'm a big Daily Wire guy. I've been a subscriber to Daily Wire from the very beginning. And Candace Owens was on the Daily Wire, and I wouldn't follow her, per se, but I would listen to her every so often and be like, okay, she makes a good point here and there. Is that what it's like for Nick Fuentes, or is it much more entertainment value?
It's a mix. He's completely hilarious. He'd make a funny joke no one is going to make nowadays.
Okay.
He's very much like the Don Rickles
Okay.
today, like just able to joke about anything. And then there's a few points he make that are good,
Uh-huh.
and then there's like the few points where like, oh, like if I changed a few words here or there, then like, oh, I could totally get behind this.
Okay. And so the elephant in the room, he denies the Holocaust. He talks very badly about Jews. When he says something, when you hear something like that, you're listening to an episode, you're saying, making a funny point, then he throws something out there that is very anti-Semitic, for want of a better term. Some people don't even like the phrase anti-Semitism. For want of a better term, he's disparaging Jews in some way or another. What goes through your mind when he says something like that?
Like when that goes through, what goes through my mind? I'm like, really?
Uh-huh.
Like it's just gonna end up back in the Holocaust. Like in my mind, I'm just like this guy's delusional and like pretty much insane.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm like, it's entertainment. Like there's like the big divide on like what he would say on a show,
Uh-huh.
like on his own personal show. Like he knows what to say that's gonna rile people up.
Okay.
Like when he would have been on the podcast with Tucker Carlson, he was much more tamer
Yeah, I've noticed that.
in comparison.
I've noticed that his clips on other people's show, especially the Piers Morgan's interview. I don't know if you saw his Piers Morgan interview, where Piers Morgan like basically asks him straight up, "Are you a racist? Are you do you hate Jews and all that kind of stuff?" And he says, "No, no, no." And he basically, it makes him seem like the person he is on his show is a caricature of someone who believes all these things. And then when he goes into other people's shows, he's much tamer, or he's saying his opinions.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So like I like sit there, I'm like, does he really believe this, or is he saying this for the bit?
Okay. So I have a clip, a tweet that he put out a year on October 7th, 2024. It says, "It is now obvious," from Nick Fuentes, "it is now obvious that October 7th was either staged or taken advantage of in order to justify Israel's unfolding regional war to destroy Iran and its proxies. Countless dead, billions in economic destruction. When will it be enough for this murderous regime?" So he says things like that, you know. Obviously, now it's very in vogue to be anti-Israel
Yeah.
on the right. You know, that's the fun thing to do. It's fun to just blame Israel for everything, every problem in America, everything you want to do. You just throw it at Israel, you throw it at the Jews. And he's definitely on that side.
Oh, I don't disagree with that. I fully believe he's very anti-Israel.
Yeah. So he's anti-Israel. And, I mean, I would say that he has done more to mainstream the anti-Israel sentiments on the right than possibly any other person. I think that there's a lot of people. I don't really put him on par with Tucker Carlson or Candace Owens. In terms of their platforms, I think their platforms are much bigger. I would put him on par with like Myron Gaines.
Yeah.
Or who is that other guy?
Sneeko?
Snako is one, and then who is the guy who always who is like a big like what's it called, gym guy?
Andrew Tate?
Andrew Tate. But that wasn't the guy I was talking about. I'm not gonna remember his name, but there's a lot of people like that are basically making their bones on being vocally anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Like it's part of their thing is I hate Jews. And he's like on that level, I think. I think he's probably the biggest of those guys. You know, and I think that maybe he's joking around, but not everyone is. Like I don't think Myron Gaines is joking
No,
around.
I don't think so either. I don't think Sneeko is either.
Yeah. And I actually muted a bunch of them on my X account because it was just insane. Like I just can't deal with basically everything that they're all talking about. But you have the America First festival or whatever he's basically trying to do with TPUSA just did with AmFest, but now he's doing it with his own like America First brand. You know, he had, hold on. So you have AFPAC conferences. He had, what was the guy's name? Stu Peters. That's the guy I was thinking of, right? So he had like Stu Peters. He has AFPAC conferences. He's trying to bring. He had Marjorie Taylor Greene in there, who was waffling on. She started out making a lot of Jewish comments. Then she got into Congress. The Democrats actually kicked her out of conferences when she came in. And then I personally know people who took Marjorie Taylor Greene and brought her to the Holocaust Museum and then she was like fine for a few years, and now she's basically off the rails and she's retiring. So where do you stand on like someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who is in Congress? She's repeating all these talking points. She's attending his conferences. Nick Fuentes, he's like gaining influence amongst members of Congress. So where do you think is this like a joke, or is this going to be like a real situation that Jewish people are going to have to deal with?
I would say it's going to be a real situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not surprised that it's a real situation.
Yeah.
It's one of those like inevitable things. Like, I don't necessarily think it's going to be the number one concern.
Okay.
For Jewish people.
What do you think is? What do you think the number one concern right now for Jews in America is?
I mean, I'm gonna obviously say assimilation.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
But more often than not, like in NYU, like we've already heard like numerous either rabbis or students get harassed on the subway.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the people that are watching Nick Fuentes and listening to Margaret Taylor Greene that are the ones either harassing me and my friends on the subway or getting into fights.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I just saw there was a video last week of a couple black guys on the subway attacking these Chabad guys.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think they're listening to Nick Fuentes when he's talking about how terrible black people are. You know, and so there was a thing in Brooklyn last week. Another, I think it was a black guy also who stabbed somebody. Mm-hmm. He's not listening to Nick Fuentes. He's not a Marjorie Taylor Greene fan. I'm guessing. I mean, listen, it's not their key demographic. You know, I don't know. He could be. You know, I wouldn't think that young Jewish men are Nick Fuentes' key demographic. So I don't know. So when you listen to Nick Fuentes and he talks about, forget about the Jewish stuff, right? Nick Fuentes also pushes, you're politically conservative, or at least a Trump voter. Mm-hmm. And, you're pro-Israel. So when he pushes, he's very strong on Christian nationalism to the point where he has expressed very anti-Trump views. He says that Trump is not Christian nationalist enough. Where do you stand on the Christian nationalism stuff? I mean, he wants to see an America that is fully Christian. Where is that? How does that blend in with the political views of a political conservative?
I could see where he's coming from.
Uh-huh.
Like, I remember pre-Me Too when like saying Merry Christmas was a normal thing.
Okay.
So I could see where he's coming from. Like, I see the points where I'm like when we like open up to like not really assimilating, but like everybody gets culturally mixed, like a lot of culture gets lost.
Yes. So
I was like,
yeah. No. So you said like a big problem with Judaism with Jewish people today is that they assimilate too much.
Yeah.
Right. And there is I am very understanding that not all cultures are equal. Obviously. I think that this concept that the left has of multiculturalism, everyone's equal, everyone's the same, is false. But I also disagree. I think Tucker Carlson said that we shouldn't have any tribalism either. And I just think that tribalism is just something that will happen when cultures exist in a society.
Yeah. I say it more of like, I think Nick also says like, respect the culture you're in.
And he says America is a Christian culture.
I would say that. I think growing up, for me personally, like I think like growing up as a kid, like the Jews, like we didn't really like personally for me, I didn't really feel like in America,
Mm-hmm.
like I'm the majority. Like I went to middle school in a public school,
Okay.
majority Christian.
Uh-huh.
Like in our neighborhood, like there's a church and we hear like church bells ringing.
Yeah.
Like growing up, like we understood like oh like America's a more Christian country,
Yeah.
even though like everybody is able to freely practice their religion, it's mostly a Christian country first.
Yes, I 100% I agree with that. I think that America is a Christian country, and it's interesting because I grew up in the town I live in now in West Hempstead, and when I grew up, it felt like when I talk to people now as an adult and who also grew up here, it felt like it was two different worlds within the same small town. I mean, it's a very small town, except you don't eat at the same pizza stores. You don't go to the same you do go to the same supermarket, but there's also a separate supermarket. There's a separate you obviously pray in different places. You experience even your housing has to be different. We have to be within the Eruv and within a certain area, and other people don't have to do that. So it does definitely feel like there's different worlds. You're living in different worlds. The problem I have with this concept that he's pushing is that it's not everyone respect each other. It's more like
Everybody bow down.
everyone bow to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like everyone, yes, Christianity is the dominant culture. So, I mean, literally, I saw today, like, there's, it was a post that I replied on because it was just so insane that basically someone says, like, you all have to convert to Christianity. If you live in America, you must convert to Christianity. And I was like, I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna do that. That's I basically the way I when I first saw that I was like, if the Spanish Jews were able to run away, if for like 2,000 years they've been trying to convert Jews to Christianity, I think I can stay away from the X accounts. If they're not trying to kill me, and. Is he trying to convert Jews to Christianity? I mean, what's he trying to do?
I don't really get that.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, I think he's more of just like get Jews out than really convert them.
So he wants Jews to be out of America.
Yeah.
Where does he want them to go?
I don't know.
To Israel?
Yeah, nobody doesn't like the state, so really.
So yeah, so like this is what always confuses me about a lot of these people is because if you're in Israel, they say to go to Poland. And if you're in Brooklyn, they say to go to Israel. And it's like, where are we supposed to go?
Yeah.
Is the real question. I mean, I'll tell you something, and this is just a general issue I have with the people who claim that, Ashkenazi Jews aren't really the descendants of the people who were kicked out of Israel from thousands of years ago. There's 135 people who were originally Ashkenazi. I don't know if you've heard this stuff.
I've heard it. Yeah,
we've done the genetic testing. We have it all. It's like, okay, to have the Human Genome Project on this, you would have to test more than like 10 people. You'd have to test like 1 million people and generations to figure out this genetic testing. Okay, so it's not based on like 135 people, but the idea that that Israel is not our homeland is every single person that I know, who I'm related to, who I live with, who in my neighborhood, who I'm friends with. Everyone says in the middle of a war, when Iran was bombing Israel, when Hezbollah had 100,000 missiles pointed at Israel, after October 7th, everyone says, I must get to Israel right now. You don't do that unless it's your home.
No.
But
it's like that sort of point. Like I'm listening to that point of being like Jews need to leave America. I'm like, yeah.
So you agree with him?
I agree with him at the point. Like, yeah, Jews need to go to Israel.
Yeah. So Jews, I mean, I actually disagree with that. I mean, that's why I didn't make Aliyah yet. And who knows? Maybe I will one day. Maybe it'll be the right thing for me and my family. But it's always an option that we're always thinking about. I don't think you're, and maybe that's why they think we're Israel first.
Yeah,
But
I remember
yeah.
that Nick made that point about Ben Shapiro. He said, "Oh, like if America crumbles, Ben Shapiro could just go to Israel."
So basically, because we have a place to run to, that makes us Israel first. But like, if America crumbles, everyone's going to run somewhere.
Yeah,
Like if America went us underwater just because we have a destiny, like I just don't understand that. Also, what bothers me is the laziness of the argument of calling Ben Shapiro Israel first after he lays out a concise explanation of what conservatism is. So tell me, what's your thoughts and your generation's thoughts on Ben Shapiro, for example? Like, what do you listen to Ben Shapiro?
I grew up with Ben Shapiro.
Yep.
So like I remember the Ben Shapiro who used to go on, who was it, like Caitlyn Jenner,
Uh-huh.
and just like go against transphobia. Like when Ben Shapiro went to colleges and debated people, like the pre-Charlie Kirk.
Okay.
I remember him like that. Then like over time, like once he went to the Daily Wire, he became much more tamer.
Uh-huh. So
in my
he's
opinion.
not, basically fighting the good fight the way
Yeah.
you appreciate.
Like I grew up with like the great clips of like Ben Shapiro debates these leftists at colleges.
The thug life videos
Yeah.
and the what they're called Boy Scouts video and whatever. Yeah, so you liked more of like the thug life Ben Shapiro,
Yeah.
the guy who was on college campuses, who was taking people down, and really not giving a. So and basically once he was doing his daily show, and he was just reporting on the economic news, you're like, okay, this is
commentary,
the commentary, the economic news, and all that kind of stuff.
Which I think like why my generation loved Charlie Kirk so much.
Yeah.
Because he would just go every college campus, actually debate people.
Yeah.
Give it like Gen Z loves entertainment.
Yeah.
If you're not really like giving us entertainment, we're not gonna give you a bone.
And I mean, the loss of Charlie Kirk, I think that actually splintered the right in a way that nobody was really expecting.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you'd think that something like that, the loss of Charlie Kirk, who was murdered by a furry who was a gay furry who was living with his trans boyfriend or whatever. It's like, and obviously had problems with the trans ideology. Charlie Kirk was very against the trans ideology. Obviously, he had these issues, and then he was shot dead. You would think that'd be like a uniting moment, but it divided everyone much worse.
Yeah.
I mean, and I actually laid the blame for that a lot on Candace Owens. Candace Owens starts pushing these conspiracy theories, Egyptian planes, and dreams she's having, and all this garbage. I mean, it's absolutely insane.
Macron trying to assassinate her.
Oh my God, the Brigitte Macron thing. She is nuts. She's just crazy with that.
But I love that even Alex Jones,
yes,
who is the pinnacle of conspiracy theories,
yes,
just also is like against Candace Owens.
Alex Jones called the school shooting of kindergartners a false flag event, and he's like, all right, Candace, you're a little nuts.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, Nick Fuentes also is like, even he's like, Candace Owens is anti-Semitic. Like, she put out this whole thing this week. She has this book, The Talmudic Jew, that she loves, that she talks about a lot. Do you learn Gemara? Do you learn Gemara? Is Gemara all about just boiling Jesus in feces?
No.
Like, is that Gemara you?
No.
I got I gotta talk to my uncle. He's done Daf Yomi for like 40 years. He's done everything 5 times. I was like, did you get up to the Jesus is being burned into boiling pots of feces part yet? He's like, I don't remember that part.
I always love when like someone who's non-Jewish learns Gemara or tries to.
Yeah.
because you just learn something new from them.
It's amazing. It's like, wow, I didn't know that part. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, wow, it's incredible. I don't know. Does Nick Fuentes talk about Talmud? Does the issues with
Yeah,
Talmud?
Nick Fuentes talks about it as well.
I mean, this is why I actually never engage on the Quran stuff. Like, I've never felt comfortable like saying like, well, the Quran says this, and the Quran like you could look up all the bad parts of the Quran. And I never really engage in that game because I can't go toe to toe with somebody on that. You know, like I'm not going to engage on the Quran with a Muslim. So why are they engaging on Gemara with Jews? Like, I don't understand.
I would say because no one is really going to debate them on it.
No one's going to fact check.
No one, like, you would have a few, like, I've seen one influence, not Jew Boy?
No.
There's a big influencer on Instagram and also on YouTube, and he reacted to one of Nick Fuentes' whole thing about like him lying about certain things from the Gemara.
Okay.
But no one really goes in depth or like has invited Nick Fuentes onto one of their shows
To debate.
like
I couldn't even
either
do
to
it.
debate him or like have a conversation with him.
Yeah. First of all, I don't even know if I'd be able to have a conversation with that guy, to be perfectly frank. Even if he would deign me with his presence. I mean, listen, I'm a very small channel. I have, not too many followers, not too many listeners. He's a very large channel. So it would actually be very beneficial for my channel to have him on if that was ever going to happen. I don't know if I could do it. Like, I don't know if I could actually have like a conversation with somebody like that. I'm not that good.
He's a tough man to have a conversation with.
He is. And also it's not not that I'm nervous. I would just be freaking out. Like I would be like screaming at him the entire time. I wouldn't be able to maintain a cordial conversation. Like I'd just be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I don't know how I would do it. But then even if he brought up these parts of the Gemara that he has found that are derogatory towards Christians, I wouldn't be able to debate him on that. I would just basically say, like, in general, the Gemara is arguments. It's more of a legal textbook than anything else. It's like reading the opinions of the Supreme Court justices more than the word of God.
Like if you really want to like go into pre-law, you learn Gemara the entire time.
Exactly. I've actually had several friends who are lawyers who are like, the LSATs, understanding like the LSATs or understanding like your first year of law school is a lot easier when you've spent 10 years before that learning Gemara.
Like everyone's like, oh, I understand the entirety of Gemara from like this one small book.
Yeah.
And like the art school, is 70 books?
There are Rabbanim who spend their entire lives who would not say it with that much confidence.
Yeah.
Who would not talk about how they understand the Gemara with that much confidence. Who are like, I learn all day, every single day for 80 years, and I do not understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it is actually crazy. So, do you think that Nick Fuentes actually influences the way you see the political landscape? Or is it just pure shock value entertainment?
It's a mix.
Mm-hmm.
I think I saw different like the political game before Nick Fuentes, and like a little bit after.
Yeah.
Just for like other political things I was influenced by. But a lot is, I could see how it would influence people.
Yeah. I mean, so you're talking about like the biggest things that he's into politically, like aside from all of his, rhetoric. He's an American isolationist, right?
Yeah.
He's not just America first, he's America alone, he's America, only.
Which kind of goes against America first.
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Like America first implies that there are other countries and that you kind of need to work with and rely on ever so often. And America alone says, oh, we could do everything ourselves, which we really can't. I mean, that's just not how the global economy is set up. Like,
I think even he knows it. He had a point of like, why do I make all my merchandise in China? Because if I made it in America, it's gonna be twice the price, and no one's gonna buy it.
Exactly. Twice the price. I mean, and there's a part of me that's like upset that the manufacturing jobs, there are no manufacturing jobs. You can't get like, t-shirts or shoes or whatever made in America. You really like everything. I get all my presents for Hanukkah and for all the kids' birthday parties. It's all from Five Below. And the fact that you can get all these really actually very good toys for $5 or less is kind of insane. But they're all made in China. That kind of place couldn't exist without global trade and all this kind of stuff. So he's saying he's America alone, America, but when he lays out that kind of argument, is there like a part of you that says like, oh yeah, maybe we shouldn't get involved in Ukraine or Russia, or maybe we shouldn't give money to military aid to Israel or whatever it is?
I kind of like agree with certain things. Like certain places need to do things on their own.
Yep.
Without intervention.
Yep.
I was thinking like there is a sort of hypocrisy in a way, where like we would give millions and millions of dollars to aid to Ukraine and Russia, but then we won't give a penny to whatever's happening in Sudan.
Yes, that is definitely a lot of hypocrisy in Congress around that. Nobody talks about Sudan. Nobody talks about the Christians being killed around the world, but they talk about the Gaza nonstop.
Yeah, I think President Trump said a little bit about how he would maybe send troops into Nigeria.
Yeah.
To stop Christian dying, but nothing happened.
Yeah, I mean, and I actually like what President Trump's doing in Venezuela. Like, that's personally me. Like, I'm definitely much more of an interventionist than a lot of conservatives, especially now. Post Iraq, nobody's an interventionist at this point. Like, no, Lindsey Graham is like a dirty word to a lot of people, because he's much more interventionist in this way. But I understand the need for Ukraine to not be taken over by Russia.
Yeah.
Like, there is a need for that. And it's good for America for Ukraine to be separate from Russia.
Of course.
And the putting a few dollars behind that to decimate the Russian military and to make sure Ukraine does not get taken over by Russia, and then Ukraine is considered the breadbasket of Europe. You want Russia to control not just Europe's oil supply, but its grain supply.
Wheat. Yeah.
And then you really don't want that, because then you are putting much more pressure on the Europeans to go with the Russian hegemony, and we basically got so used to it in America. There's a lot of arguments to be made here. Then there's like the Matt Walsh side. Do you listen to Matt Walsh at all?
I used to.
Yeah, so I listen to him periodically. I do like a lot of what he says, especially on cultural issues. You talk about somebody who doesn't pull punches. He definitely loves to punch. And if you want to talk about, you compared Nick Fuentes to which comedian before?
Don Rickles.
Don Rickles. He is definitely, Matt Walsh is definitely the Stephen Wright of just like deadpan, like that kind of humor is very good. And he's basically of the opinion regarding foreign policy, which is, if you cannot exist without our aid, you should not exist at all. Basically, you're a failed state.
I hear that.
Yeah. And there was a thing that came back with Somalia when this whole thing was going on with that all the Somalis in Minnesota were taking all the money and sending it over to Somalia. That remittance back to Somalia was like 70% of their GDP. So like all the money in Somalia is just money that was made in America and sent over there and made illegally by scamming and fraud and whatever. So I understand that's like ridiculous, and you can't allow that. You don't have a country if you do something like that. But just to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah. I remember that was a very big like old claim when Israel was like first created.
Yeah.
Like one's like also like people were saying like America should stop giving aid to Israel.
Yeah. I mean, it's actually funny because Ben Shapiro actually says America should stop giving aid to Israel and Israel should get off of American aid. Ben Shapiro says this. But he's called Israel first.
Yeah. Which, like, in that perspective, like, oh, yeah, Israel gets off American aid. Israel has to, like, figure out its economy on its own.
Well, that's the funny thing about American aid. American aid is not helping the Israeli economy. That's not what it's there for. It's there, and I've talked about this at length. American aid is basically a friends and family discount because Israel spends so much money on American munitions that basically, so it's $3.8 billion a year. That's the memorandum of understanding that Obama signed. And Obama was not the biggest pro-Israel guy.
Yeah.
And $3.3 billion of those dollars come back into America and directly to buy weapons that Israel wants, on top of which they spend another $30 billion a year in America. And by the contract of the MOU, the Memorandum of Understanding, they can't buy it anywhere else. So they're and they're, when they're using this, that means they're not developing their own weapons, but any improvements that they make on the weapons that they have here, they give back to America. It is a mutual understanding. But like, that's my problem with guys like Nick Fuentes or Tucker Carlson. More like, they should know this. Well, Nick Fuentes, he wants to entertain, he wants to do this. Tucker Carlson should know this. These are not difficult facts to find, but Tucker Carlson says that Israel's not an ally. Qatar is an ally.
Yeah. Like, Qatar is going to test out weapons for America.
Well, yeah, but what Qatar's really doing is putting in hundreds of billions of dollars into the university system and churning out leftists.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense.
And there's the big thing about, like, oh, is Tucker Carlson also being paid by Qatar?
Well, I wrote a whole article about that. There's some evidence. I don't like to basically say that people are only doing this because they're getting paid, because I think that it's more like what the NRA does or what the teachers unions do or what everyone does, which is you find people who already have a tendency to agree with you and then try to get those people elevated. Mm-hmm. You know, so if I think Tucker already had a tendency to agree with the Qatari mentality because of the people he's associated with, the people who invested in his network when he got fired from Fox News. He's associated with a lot of people there, so he was already had a tendency to agree with them. So they paid to elevate him. You know, I think there is something like that. So the question is, how is Nick Fuentes? Because I got to bring it back to Nick Fuentes.
Of course.
Here. Like, how is Nick Fuentes going to be in, what's he going to be like in 2 or 3 years? He's gaining in popularity. He's gaining in momentum. More people are listening to him. More people are liking him. I think that in May, like 750,000 listeners. And now he's much more than that. I honestly, where do you see him going? If he continues to be like this, where do you see him going, and where do you see the American conservative movement going?
I could very well see Nick Fuentes being a bigger political figure.
Yeah.
I don't know if he would be as big as Charlie Kirk was.
Okay.
He might need maybe 10 more years. But I definitely could see him posing a bigger threat than he does.
So when you say posing a threat, what do you mean?
I wouldn't, like, I could see maybe him being, maybe could run for president.
Nick Fuentes.
Yeah, which is a horrible idea.
Okay. All right. I'm glad you say that. Well, how old is he? He's like 22,
he's
right?
27.
27.
No, I think he's 27.
Okay. So he's 27. So he's got at least, so he can't even run in 2032. Yeah. He'd have to wait till 2036. Do you think he's still going to have his audience? I mean, he's going to, when you're in your late 30s, I mean, you grew up with Ben Shapiro. Yeah. I started listening to Ben Shapiro at 18. I grew up with him for the past 15 years. I'm not 18, 20, 25, 26. I was listening to Ben Shapiro. And then you grow out of these people. People do not have this long of a shelf life.
No. Even he himself was talking about in one of his latest episodes, like how he looks back and like his clips of like the early age when he really used to say anything.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, I said that.
So
I wouldn't say it nowadays, but like I said it back then. I don't regret it.
So do you think he's going to try and moderate?
I could see him moderating a little bit.
Uh-huh. To try to get more mainstream appeal.
Yeah.
So in that case, doesn't he become boring, and then people your age, the Gen Zers who like him because he's so crazy, don't you see him in that case, wouldn't he just be irrelevant?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Like I could see him becoming less irrelevant, but let's say America First blows up, then people are going to side with American First. Which is already like there's a lot of American First influencers all over Instagram.
Yes, there definitely is a lot of America First talk. I see it on X all day. My entire algorithm is filled with these people who all claim to be America First, but they just can't stop talking about Israel.
Yeah.
Like,
I think Ben Shapiro didn't make a single Israel comment at the convention,
yeah.
but every other person did.
Yes. And the funny thing is, and I posed this question to just the general world, how many people who claim to be America First have said a single word about California not rebuilding after their fires in January? Like, I listen to Adam Carolla. He's one of my early guys. Like, I listened to him for 20 years. And he lives in L.A. He's like, they haven't rebuilt anything yet. And it's been a year. It's been almost a year. How many America First people are talking about that? No one.
Yeah.
Have you even thought about that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, how many people are talking about the devastation that happened in El Paso, Texas, when all the migrants were coming through? I mean, it was a big deal at the time. Trump closes the border. Nobody talks about it anymore. But there's definitely still residual effects. Nobody talks about it.
Secretly, I think American First is just a different plug of very anti-Semitism and anti-Israel.
Yeah. I think it's become a catch-all for, I mean, it's like Black Lives Matter. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Black Lives Matter was a phrase that people are like, okay, well, you're saying that Black lives don't matter, and then this and that, whatever. It just became a grift.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter as an institution is a grift. That they took hundreds of millions of dollars, and it's all gone. Where did it go? I mean, the people who founded Black Lives Matter, they live in mansions now. But where did all that money go? Is that what America First is?
I don't know if they will have as much money, but I could see it.
No, you're not going to get the NFL pledging $100 million to America First.
But you have like all these like American First people, and there are these like you would have Sneeko or Marvin Gaye, and like those two are very big Islamists.
Yeah.
Or like you have very Orthodox Catholics.
Yeah, I mean, how do these people get along with each other?
Yeah.
You had Myron Gaines at TPUSA wearing the sweatshirt.
Cookie Monster.
Cookie Monster. Now that's basically saying the Holocaust isn't real, right?
Yeah.
That's like that sweatshirt because Fuentes made a joke about you couldn't cook this many cookies or something like that.
Yeah, and like
in
the
ovens.
amount of time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But something tells me, and based on what we talked about just now for the past, I don't know, half hour or so, I think that the appeal, correct me if I'm wrong, the appeal to the Gen Zers is that Nick Fuentes is basically a comedian. He says ridiculous things. You don't really take him seriously. He's not a political thought leader. He just is the anti-political correctness.
Mm-hmm. There's certain people, like, he does make a few very good claims.
Uh-huh.
Like when he says Gen Z needs to have a purpose in life. Okay, solid claim.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Burr is a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Burr made one of the best anti-abortion arguments I've ever heard. Same thing with Louis C.K. They both had very very good anti-abortion arguments in their stand-up set. But both of them are pro-choice. Both of them, if you ask them, they would say abortion till birth. But they made two of the greatest arguments I've ever heard against abortion. So is that like where he's standing with you? Like, he's a comedian who makes a good point every so often. When he makes bad points, I just don't take him seriously.
I would say that, like, even his good points are just like common sense.
Yeah. Having a purpose in life is common sense, yes.
Having a purpose in life, yeah. Men not acting like men are common sense.
Yes. I mean,
Like,
I would definitely say that there is a deficit in masculinity in the world today. And it's not a Gen Z thing only. That is a millennial thing. That is a Gen X thing. I mean, everything goes back to the boomers, you know?
Yeah.
Thanks, Mom and Dad.
But I remember when, like, Andrew Tate, like, during high school, everybody listened to Andrew Tate.
Yeah, I never did. I mean, what was the appeal of him?
Just this highly masculine man.
See,
who, like, in
but
a way,
he's not
also said
masculine.
whatever he wanted.
I don't see him as masculine, though.
I mean, listen, you just had a man that was just like, rich, goes to the gym. Rich, goes to the gym, has women. Like, what more could a Gen Z want in a man?
That never appealed to me. Being rich is nice, you know. I guess being rich would be nice. I think it's all fake, isn't it? Like his whole
Probably, yeah.
that he was just like renting out these places just to put his videos out, selling his university thing or whatever. His Tate
But, like,
University.
eventually, no one talks about him anymore.
Yeah.
He died out.
I think all these people will die out. I don't think Nick Fuentes has 5 years left in his career.
Yeah. I would say if there is, like, a very strong cancer culture against him, and let's say against the American First Movement, then I would say it coming back.
Yes. I definitely think that if people See, this is the problem, though. This is the problem. So, if Ben Shapiro said nothing, would Nick Fuentes die out faster? Maybe. But the problem is, 10 years ago or 8 years ago, when the left was going through all this, and they were basically getting taken over by their socialists, Ilhan Omar, AOC, Rashida Tlaib, everyone, and they were appearing on on magazine covers with Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
All this kind of stuff. It was people on the right who are saying to the mainstream Democrats, why aren't you calling out these people? Why aren't you excising them from your movement? So it would be kind of crazy for the same people on the right to not excise non-conservatives from the conservative movement.
Mm-hmm. I would say, like, it's never, like, call it, like, especially with somebody like Nick Fuentes, you can't just call him out. It's not going to work.
They thrive on that.
Yeah. The only real way is either you make a lot of jokes out of it, and you just make them look like a fool.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually why I think the best anti-Candace thing from coming out of TPUSA was Rob Schneider's speech. Rob Schneider basically made Candace Owens the butt of the joke. But that's also why I don't think anyone talked about Nick Fuentes as much as they did until Tucker Carlson brought him on.
Yeah.
Because Tucker Carlson's supposed to be the mainstream guy. And he is starting to he brought on, Nick Fuentes had dinner with Trump 2 years ago. Nobody cared. Yeah. 3 years ago. In 2022, what's it called? Kanye West and Nick Fuentes had dinner with Donald Trump. Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
But Tucker Carlson brings him on, and now Nick Fuentes is like the biggest guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
I'm very big on just, like, making fun of them.
Make it, yeah.
Like, if they make fun of you, you can make fun of them.
Okay.
And if they don't like it, they don't like it.
All right. That's fair. That's fair. Okay, so I think we got somewhat to an understanding of the phenomenon that is Nick Fuentes. I'm very grateful for the conversation. I think this
Thank
is
you.
very good. I would love to keep talking about a lot of other topics, but we got to keep these podcasts a little within a reasonable amount of time. So Moshe Lax, do you have any plugs you want to give? Do you have
I have a minor Instagram page that I just also like spew out whatever I want.
There you go. Well, plug.
Yeah.
Give it a plug.
It's my name, just on Instagram.
Moshe Lax, Lachs.
Moshe Lax, Lachs. Get a search engine.
Instagram, great. And I am Moshe Hill. This is A Hill with a View. Make sure to like, subscribe on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, x.com Hill with View, Instagram Hill with View, TikTok Hill with View. If you want to join the show, we got to have a lot of conversations about a lot of different things, a lot of different topics. You can email me at ahillwithaview@gmail.com. Moshe Lax, it was really great to meet you.
It was great being here.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much. I think we explained the phenomenon a little bit, so hopefully people will listen. All right. Thank you. Have a great night.
Of course, you too.
All right.